We have the initial 53-man roster as well as who I think can make the practice squad, and we're starting right now. Today's video is on the 53-man roster and practice squad predictions. I am your host, Troxel. So around 4:18 p.m., we found out who was cut and who is staying on the Detroit Lions. Now, I will be reading from my phone a lot so I could give you accurate content. We are trying to reach 500 subscribers by the Detroit Lions Week 6 bye week. So now let's get into it. According to Monday's roster cuts, we seen Devin Funchess, Khalil Pimpleton, Kendall Lamb, Jared Davis, Tom Kennedy, Savion Smith, Mark Gilbert, and Tim Boyle all get cut by various sports media coverage. On today, by 4 p.m., we seen Anthony Pittman, AJ Parker, Jerry Jacobs, CJ Moore, Bruce Hector, Justin Jackson, Dan Skipper, Maurice Alexander, Cedric Boswell, Derek Deese, Abena Easy, James Houston, Godwin Igabike, Riley Patterson, Darren Paulo, Eric Banks, Trinity Benson, Jashawn Cornell, and also Kevin Jarvis all get cut. Now, on the injured reserve list, we also seen Greg Bell went on injured reserve, not eligible to play in 2022. We seen Jason Kabinda go on reserve/pup list. Wide receiver Jameson Williams go on the reserve NFI list. Edge rusher Romeo Okawara go on the reserve pup list. Josh Pascal also going on the reserve pup list. And finally, Jerry Jacobs going on the reserve pup list. So on the 53-man roster, we get carrying two quarterbacks, Jared Davis and David Blau. We are carrying four running backs in DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams, Craig Reynolds, Jamar Jefferson. We are also carrying five wide receivers in DJ Chark, Josh Reynolds, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Khalif Raymond, and Quintez Cephas. We are carrying four tight ends also into the regular season with TJ Hawkinson, Brock Wright, James Mitchell, and Shane Zylstra. We are going to take in 9 offensive linemen into the 2022 regular season with Taylor Decker, Jonah Jackson, Frank Ragnow, Halapuluti Vaitai, Penei Sewell, Matt Nelson, Evan Brown, Tommy Kramer, and also Logan Stenberg. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, we are going to carry 5 interior defensive linemen, aka defensive tackles. We are going to bring in Michael Brockers, Aleem McNeil, Levi Onwuzurike, Isaiah Buggs, Demetrius Taylor, who was an undrafted free agent in the 2022 draft prospect. We're going to carry 5 edge rushers in Aiden Hutchinson, Charles Harris, Julian Okawara, Austin Bryant, and John Kaminsky. We're going to carry 5 linebackers with Alex Anzalone, Derek Barnes, Malcolm Rodriguez, aka Rodrigo, Chris Board, and Josh Woods. Now, our cornerback position, we are going to carry 6 of them. Amani Aruwariye, Jeff Okuda, Will Harris, Bobby Price, Mike Hughes, and Chase Lucas. We're going to carry 5 safeties as well with Tracy Walker, Deshaun Elliott, Ifatu Melifonwu, Kirby Joseph, and Juju Hughes, who I did think was a surprise. We're going to have obviously only 3 specialists. Riley Patterson did get cut, so it's going to be Jack Fox, Scott Daly, Austin Seibert, and that is going to be your specialist. Now, my surprises, like I said, Riley Patterson, I thought we should have kept him over Seibert. Seibert does have a bigger leg, but Riley Patterson, I mean, let's face it, the kid was solid last year. I thought he was going to be the heir apparent to Matt Prater, who was the heir apparent to Jason Hanson. So I thought that Riley Patterson could have been that guy, but I guess they were going with more leg in case of long situations. So I guess that's where they went. I would have went with more accurate guy. I mean, give me the points. And plus, with the NFL converting more on fourth downs and short yardage, you're going to have a short field. So unless you're the Baltimore Ravens that we give them a 67-yard field goal. I was kind of surprised that Josh Woods made it, because I know last year that they were really high on Anthony Pittman, but Anthony Pittman really didn't show us nothing. Josh Woods was he was all right. I mean, I think that if there's a guy out on the free agency market now, or on the waiver wire, I think we go after that, and maybe Josh Woods gets cut. But I know if your guys cannot play special teams, and that's where Josh Woods is really going to make his bread and butter, is on not the practice squad, but the special teams unit. James Houston, I'm a little upset about that, especially you could have kept James Houston and cut maybe Juju Hughes and kept James Houston. I'm really high on James Houston. If he does not get picked up, we're going to get into this, but I will give you a little free preview. He's definitely number one on my list to go bring back. I was actually surprised yesterday we cut Devin Funchess. I would have kept Funchess over Shane Zylstra because he is a bigger body guy. He can play wide receiver, play tight end. He could do a little bit of multiple things. Obviously, his blocking was probably the reason why he got cut. So that was a little bit of a shocker. Khalil Pimpleton, I was a little shocked about him. I mean, if we're only going 5 wide receivers, I guess he was just on the borderline of staying. We did release Trinity Benson on an injury designation, so he will be getting paid some money from the Detroit Lions. That's really about it. I mean, David Blau is still on the roster, but he did play better than Tim Boyle. I mean, even though both of them did not really perform well against the Pittsburgh Steelers in that Week 3 matchup in the preseason, he still played better. So he kind of tied the Lions' hands a little bit as far as remaining on the roster. Now, as you see from down here, Carson Strong is going to be a guy that they're going to probably try and target, as a third quarterback. He is a rookie, so you could kind of groom him, maybe throw him on a practice squad or something, and go from there a little bit. But outside of that, I can't wait to see Jameson Williams. Hopefully he is out at least for the first 4 games. I think that he'll be back either against the Dallas Cowboys or coming home against the Miami Dolphins in Week 7. So let's get into who I think is going to be on the practice squad now. Now, for the practice squad, I do think, like I said earlier, James Houston, if he does clear waivers, I think that he is top priority. We could probably bring back Godwin Igibike, does bring special teams, knows the offense, knows that has been on this roster and things like that. I think that he would be a logical guy to bring back on the practice squad. Maurice Alexander, Khalil Pimpleton, I do think that they go and regain on the practice squad. Derek Deese Jr., he was an undrafted free agent. I do think that we do place him on the practice squad. Bennett Eze, I think that we could probably throw him on the practice squad. I mean, he's only been playing football for 7 years, as we've seen from Hard Knocks. So he's very, very raw. So, I mean, you throw him on the practice squad a few years and develop his talent and, and then see what he has, in a couple years. Defensive line, I think Jishon Cronell could be one that lands on the practice squad. Obviously, James Houston, like I said earlier. Anthony Pittman could be landing on the practice squad as well if he clears waivers. Maybe Savion Smith and Mark Gilbert lands on the practice squad, or A.J. Parker could land on the practice squad, and Riley Patterson could also land on the practice squad. Yeah, outside of that, I mean, that's really about it. I mean, Tom Kennedy, if he clears waivers, he can probably be brought back on the practice squad. Trinity Benson as well. Devin Funchess could be placed on the practice squad. Dan Skipper, he can also be placed on the practice squad in case of injury. He could be one of those protected players. You can allow 2 of them where teams can't claim that player. I could see Dan Skipper being one of them, and maybe James Houston being one of them. You know, like I said, Jashawn Cornell, Bruce Hector could be a guy that's on the practice squad. I believe he was on the practice squad a year ago. Outside of that, I mean, that's really about who I think can really have a good chance to make the practice squad. Thank you so much for watching. Leave it in the comment section below what your thoughts on the 53-man roster, the roster cuts, and also who I thought could make the practice squad. What would you do in this situation? Who would you keep? Who would you want on the practice squad? Or also cut from the roster? Definitely let me know below in the comment section below. And with that being said, if you haven't subscribed yet, definitely do so. We are on the goal to 500 subscribers by the week 6 bye week. And with that being said, this is Troxel from Detroit Lions Pride. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and I'm out. Peace.